Hi everybody, this is Property with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now on this channel we discuss property, finance and investments. Now please note that none of my videos constitutes as financial advice, but if you're looking for financial advice, please speak to an accredited and registered financial advisor. Now in this video I'd like to talk about home loan deposits and give you some practical tips on how to save for your home loan deposit in only 2 years. I'm also going to be discussing the importance of a deposit and things like how it benefits you as a buyer and of course how to save for that deposit. Now, a deposit can make a major difference to the long-term affordability of your home, but the reality is saving up the money can be difficult for first-time buyers. And the tips and advice that I will be sharing with you in this video will most definitely help you to get your savings target in no time. You might be thinking, but Leonard, I could get 100% home loan. Why do I need a deposit? Well, a deposit, to explain it to you in this way, is important to home buyers for the following reasons. Firstly, it improves your affordability and up your chances of getting your bond approved. And also it puts you in a better position to negotiate a more favorable interest rate since there is lower risk for the bank involved. And another one is you will save on the interest being paid over the loan period, and it will reduce your monthly installments. By that I mean your bond repayments. Paying a deposit will make you more attractive to sellers. Also, if there are multiple buyers interested in the specific property that you are also interested in, it will just give you that negotiating edge over the other potential buyers. Any seller, and take it from me, I've been in the business for many moons. I've sold many of my own properties. You always weigh up. It will also make you more attractive to the bank, as I mentioned, where you apply for this home loan. Now, I mentioned this in previous videos that a 10% deposit, for example, it reduces your capital debt. And in addition, if you get a lower interest rate as a result of you putting down a deposit, it could save you hundreds of thousands of rand over this 20 or 30 year period. So it's actually a no-brainer. The average prices of properties sold in South Africa is around R1 million, and if you don't qualify for a 100% home loan, the bank may ask for a 10% deposit of around 100,000. Now 100,000 rand is a lot of money to most of us, and this may seem impossible to you right now, but a few temporary tweaks to your lifestyle and spending habits, it could get you on the property ladder much sooner than you think. And this is what this video is all about. You can start by breaking down the total, the 100,000 rand, into monthly saving targets. Now 100,000 rand over 2 years gives you a 50,000 rand target per year, meaning I think if my math serves me, 4,166 rand per month. Even if you up that to 4,500 rand per month. Now finding an extra 4,500 rand a month may sound very difficult when you still have to cover living expenses, but the trick is to consider it as a short-term sacrifice. It's just 2 years, and if it's too difficult for you, you can even stretch it over a 3-year period, but you can do it. And here's how you can do it. Firstly, start tracking your expenses. Write down every rand you spend, or find handy software online. It's everywhere. This will not only point out all your unnecessary expenses, but will also help you to compile a realistic budget. That's important. It goes without saying, but if you don't know what you are spending your money on, you won't know where you can start cutting. You won't know. Once you have a proper picture of where your money disappears to every month, you can then find ways to avoid unnecessary expenses and cut down on existing ones. Now, if you are currently renting, you might consider moving somewhere cheaper. Remember, it's temporary. However, it's important that I mention to you that, moving around too much, it can influence your credit rating. Now, what do I mean by that? You might wonder. Well, every time you apply for a rental, a credit check is done, and every credit check affects your credit score. I have discussed this in previous videos. I think when I spoke about blacklisting, I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. or you can just click on the banner on top. I'll advise you to go watch that video. And just talking about moving, this might be the last resort, but as I mentioned earlier, everything is temporary, so you might even have to consider moving back to your parents' house. I know some of you might not like that, or maybe moving with a friend or sublet to a friend. Or go to a place where the monthly rental is cheaper. And all these little things and these adjustments, it will most definitely free up more money in your monthly budget. You can also consider other monthly expenses. Things like, and this comes to mind now. Can you cancel that gym contract that you never use? You know what I'm talking about. Another one is pay your bills on time, as you will save interest. Pay off as much credit as possible before taking on a home loan. Very importantly, shop around for cheaper insurance or bank accounts with cheaper charges. But also note that it may be unwise to change your primary bank account right now, as this can negatively influence your credit record and of course your credit record in essence. If you are using a credit card, shop around to see if you can't find one with lower interest rates or higher loyalty awards somewhere else. Cut on luxuries, very importantly. Luxuries. There's a lot of things that we do that we don't really need. And I'm not saying stop living. What you can also do is choose one or two little luxuries. With the emphasis on the little meaning not too expensive. And at the beginning of the month, buy those two. Everything else, whether that's cosmetic or cleaning supplies or expensive perfumes or your favorite meal at your go-to restaurant, whatever, those things can wait. Compare your prices. Stick to what you need and only buy specials. Check out weekly and monthly special catalog. When last have you done that? Look at what you could save at different supermarkets or wholesalers, for instance. By simply changing supermarkets, it can easily save you thousands of rand. Another piece of advice is sell unwanted stuff. Another way to free up money from your budget is to ditch that fancy car. Now, just recently I did a video on buying a car versus a house and why it's an actual no-brainer, and I would advise you to watch that video. It's very popular on my channel and I've got good feedback from all of you. So I'll leave a link in the description below, or once again just click on the banner on top. It should take you to that episode. And while you're at it, remember to subscribe to my channel as well. Cars are a depreciating asset. If you're a couple, for instance, ask yourself, do you really need two cars? Why not sell one and buy a scooter instead, or make do with just one vehicle, or exchange the most expensive vehicle for a cheaper one? And yes, we know you love your car, but you're going to love owning your own home even more. Trust me on that one. And just another piece of advice: when you get paid, save first. Put your savings away at the beginning of the month. If you procrastinate, well, then you know it won't happen that month. So do it straight away. So I mentioned ditch your car, that fancy car, and also I think I mentioned this one as well earlier, is making your own lunch instead of buying takeaways is a great way of saving money. Another way for you to save money is to compare your insurance premiums. Shop around. It's another great way to save money. Your car situation obviously changed, or maybe your car has depreciated, which is inevitable, and give your broker a call and shop around to see what your options are. You're giving yourself 2 years now to save for a deposit, so maybe you don't need that cell phone upgrade. In fact, when your contract renewal comes around, why not take a lower package? It's just for 2 years. There are other options as well, like get a second job, create a second income stream by freelancing or getting another job, as I mentioned. Get a Saturday or Sunday waiting job. There are numerous options out there, and you can do this. Save this money you get from your extra job or your extra income. Save it into a separate account, as I mentioned earlier. It helps for you to discipline yourself, because trust me on this one that you will be tempted to use that money because you will still have your ongoing monthly expenses. But it's all about discipline, and a lot of us have done it. Many of you are still doing it, and it pays. Trust me, it pays off. And just another thing, and I thought I'd mention it to you: don't worry what others might think or say of you. What they think or say of you is none of your business anyway. Focus on you, your goals, and your future. It is such a great achievement when you get to that point where you, and it's such a happy and huge moment in life when you get to that point where you can finally put down a deposit, buy your dream home or your first home. Doesn't matter. I mean, if it's your first home, trust me, it will be a dream come true. And even if you prolong this over, I mentioned 2 years, even if you do this over 3 years, I actually want to add, even if you do it over 4 years. Now, I've shared this advice with a couple who came to me about 3 years ago, and they just bought their first property from me just the other day. They're moving into their brand new home the 1st of January 2022. Now, when I called them a few weeks ago to inform them that their bond has been approved, it was tears of joy everywhere. They sacrificed a lot over the past couple of years, driving an old car that gave them so much problems. I mean, they could afford all the time to buy a brand new car, but they stuck to their plan. And today, well, they are the proud owners of a beautiful home. And if they can do it, and many others can do it, trust me, you can too. Thank you so much, everybody, for once again joining me on today's episode. And I sincerely hope that this episode was of value to you. And if it was, can I kindly ask you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it. And leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'm really looking forward to your comments. As you know, I like to engage with all of you. And that way, we get to know each other. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.